Hello everyone, I'm Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Of course, before we get into this pretty interesting set to have in hand, I would kind of like to just go over a couple of small things. So, first things first, in a sense, I did fix the Adam Cole. As you can tell, his arm can actually move properly on this side, and both of his arms aren't looser than a goose, and you've got smaller knee pads, so I did take the time to fix this. Sadly, though, it came at a cost. Of course, the neck peg the shoulder peg actually snapped off of the shoulder piece here, so I had to crack open the torso and replace the whole shoulder piece, and that was a interesting time within itself, but at least I was able to fix this up for pick-fed use, and yeah, I've got another one on the way as well, as I was owed a replacement in my opinion, and thankfully they shipped me out a replacement Adam Cole, so we'll see if I get the green gear, or if maybe I get the camo gear. I may start up a little bit of a mock collection, I don't know. But for those of you who have been paying attention, I've been wanting to do this for a minute now. Sadly, the Scarlet head swap didn't really work out in my opinion, so I'm just going to leave the Elite 92 head on there. Honestly, it really isn't that bad in person. It definitely looks a little odd, but it's not the worst. Of course, I finally got the CM Punk head sculpt off of this body, so now I can use this with the Supreme Punk head scans and just in general the AEW head scans, but I'm pretty excited to be able to use this as just in case, the whole MDT formula doesn't work, just because I want to wait and see if maybe post like updates on the action figure shirt like formula thing that he was talking about, because he may have found a way to get all the extra ink and stuff out of the action figure like clothing that stains your figure. So say if I wanted to use the Jake Hager hoodie or the CM Punk hoodies or anything of that nature, he actually may have found a way to get all the extra ink out of it so they're usable for figures. But I want to see if it actually works, or if it was just kind of a little bit of a hoax. Or, well, not a hoax, but maybe like his experiment didn't work as well as he thought. And then this Finley, when I got it, the leg was a little like snapped off to the left, or well, to the right, as this figure, if he was standing the way I am, would be standing at right. So his right leg was kind of a little veered off. Fixed that up, it actually looks way better now, way more usable. Yeah, just all around super excited. But with that being said, sorry if I rambled on a little bit too long. I want to say this package should be fairly easy to open without having to, cut off of the camera, so I'm hoping I can do that for you guys. It may take me a second, as this knife is a little dull. I gotta redo my sharpening on this knife, as the past few months of opening boxes has not been too kind, I guess you could say, to my knife. But hopefully I think I've got this open now. I don't think I got this open now. Alright, I may have to cut this off of camera. Oh, no, there we go. Now it's budging. There we go. Now that we've gotten the figure casing cracked open, we can take a good look at the accessories once we fully get everything up and out of the box. Can I get this to go? I don't think I'm going to get this to budge as much as I would like to. Yeah, let's just cut it so I don't mess up the box or anything, because I do want to keep this Boxman on card, and you'll probably see why. Alrighty, you guys, getting back into the video now that we've got the figures out of their plastic prison. We're gonna go over the accessories. First things first, of course, CM Punk's got a extra set of hands plugged into the figure. I didn't really feel like taking those out as they're both the same like set of hands, so you'll kind of see a bit more of those when we get to them. But of course, MJF, I took all of his hands off as they had two different hand styles on the figures, so I kind of figured it wouldn't be the worst thing to kind of portray them separately instead of having one on the figure or whatever. I think y'all get what I mean. But anywho, we're gonna go over Punk's accessories first. Of course, he has two different head scans, and he's got three different sets of hands. Really nice detail on each set of hands too, with the blood splatter effect on the fist. You've got the blood splatter effect on the go to sleep hands. And you've even got the blood splatter effect on the mic holding hands as well. One thing I can say is maybe it's just me or whatever, I don't know, maybe like my hands just feel a little odd when touching like the blood parts of certain things, but like when I was first touching the blood on the CM Punk, some of it just felt a little sticky, like it hadn't been fully sealed. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but the rest of it doesn't feel too bad, you know. It's got incredible detail on the figure itself, but we're not getting into the figure just yet. Getting into the head scan though, we've got the bloodied up, screaming expression, probably one of my favorite Punk expression head sculpts. I don't know if we got one like non-bloodied with the Supreme, but this would definitely be a pretty decent Punk head sculpt to use on that figure. And of course his secondary head sculpt, which is on the figure, of course we could have taken a bigger look into that when we looked at the rest of the figure. But it's just more of a straight face CM Punk, all bloodied up and stuff, but not as bloody as the screaming expression, which is kind of sad in my opinion. Kind of would have loved to have two faces equally as bloody and then two faces maybe not as bloody, just of the same head sculpt. Maybe one day I'll look into that, but for right now it's not the biggest ordeal, obviously. One thing I do think they missed out on with this set though was including an extra fist hand with the Dynamite Dozen ring on it, as CM Punk did finish the match by hitting MJF with his Dynamite Dozen ring. You know, I feel like that would have just kind of set the standard, but of course, you can't always get what you wish for. Getting into the MJF though, we'll take a look at the head scans now. This is more of just a pissed off, straight face expression with a little bit of blood on it. Of course, this is probably, now looking at it, probably one of my more favorite MJF head scans. Wish we got a more like pissed off looking MJF. Speaking of another pretty decent looking head scan though, we've got the bloodied up MJF. Now I was watching the review by My Damn Toys where he said that this head scan kind of looks like Colt Cabana, and I could see what he's saying by it. From certain angles it looks like MJF, straight on it kind of looks like Colt Cabana if you're not really looking. But all around though, I don't think it's the worst head scan. Gives us the expression that we may need for this matchup if we're looking to recreate what's happening between these two during this time period, as of course this set is a little bit old, but that's alright. Getting into his hands though, I am a little weirded out when it comes to the hands, as he's got the two sets of fist hands. They look pretty damn good, don't get me wrong. They've got the nice like tape sculpt on them. Got the blood effect on them. Got these hands which got the tape sculpt on them. Got the blood effect. You know, that's not the weird part though. The weird part is on how like his base hands are just painted on. And his wrist like tape itself on the figure is also just painted on. There's no sculpt to it, so like, did they take other, like, figure hands that they had from other waves, just reuse them because they had the extras and call it a day? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's not just me, but now that we've gotten the accessories of both men down and out of the way, we can kind of just throw those off to the side. as we're going to kind of get into the big main accessory here, we've got the dog collar. Of course, it looks the exact same on the other side. I thought there was going to be like a little plug to plug the necklace onto figures. But no, of course, because the head sculpts are completely interchangeable, you pop it off, put it over the neck, pop the head scan back on. And it's literally that simple, nothing more, nothing less. The dog collar itself, though, it is really damn long. Like, I'm touching the ring mat with it and holding it up probably about where I would hoist like the ladder line rope thing for ladder matches and stuff. So that's a extremely long dog collar. Gonna be really good though for the idea of having a dog collar match. So of course, gonna keep that in mind for the future. Getting that out of the way though, why don't we plug a set of hands into the MJF and we can get into the MJF figure, and then we'll do the Punk after, pose them up, do my final thoughts on the figure, rate the figure, and yeah, we'll wrap the video up. Alrighty, now that we've gotten some hands plugged into the MJF, taking a nice look at the figure, like in its full glory out of the packaging, seeing all the little blood splatter effects, seeing the nice shimmer on the tights with the MJF logos that are typical for MJF figures. One cool little detail I was very excited to see was that they actually got the logos on the boots as well. And yeah, just all around, it's a really cool attire. Still sad that we haven't seen it non-bloodied up, That's definitely probably one of the sadder things in my opinion. Especially now that Punk's gone from AEW, we won't see either one of these figures re-released non-bloodied. So that's kind of a bit disappointing. Taking a little bit of a closer look though, of course, you've got a lot of blood decal on the chest, leaking down to the stomach. You've got some running down the arms, on the hands. You've got a lot on the back, especially little like dot areas, as there was a couple of thumbtack spots. So I want to say that's probably what that's supposed to be kind of mimicking. You've also got blood running down this side. No blood on like the rib area in a sense, like nothing too out of the ordinary. Of course, he's got his tattoo decal as well. The tattoo on the rib might look a little off to me, but that's not the biggest ordeal. Of course, he's got blood running down from the tights area as well. So, he may need to go get his little thingy thing checked out by the doctor. Maybe leaking a little bit of blood there. I don't know. Maybe he's coming from a big ass forehead. Beats me. But getting into the Punk figure now, as this one is very bloodied up, of course. Blood leaking down the face, you've got blood coming down the chest area, blood on the arms, of course in the wrist tape, on his back, probably because of thumbtack spots, all around the tights, like unlike MJF where it was just like the front area here nearby the little lion logo there, and then there's like no blood anywhere else. This CM Punk actually has like blood all over the front and all over the back of the tights. Of course, standard black kick pads and boots though, so nothing too huge to go about when it comes to the lower half of the portion there. Of course, this is more based off of like an ROH look for Punk. So he's got the 3 X's. You've got the Punk written down the side. Sadly, the wrong color of shorts for Punk, though, as they were supposed to be more white, not cream colored. So that is one thing I can agree with MDT there. And I don't know if you guys noticed why I wanted to keep the box fully mint, but that picture in the background is cool on its own. Which if you didn't really get to see a good look at it, I'm sorry, maybe go out of your way to do it, because I'm not going to take the plastic out of the box just so you can see it. But we also have this nice image on the back of the box just because I don't think I really took the time to like show it off. Anywho, it doesn't really matter. Why don't we get these guys all posed up and just kind of dig right in on my final thoughts and the rating, etc. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got both of these men all posed up in the final pose, we've got the tombstone spot that happened on the apron. I want to say in the right sequence as well, as I want to say MJF hit it to CM Punk, but also sold his knee that was being worked on throughout the match. Anywho, either way, it doesn't necessarily matter. These figures are both pretty fun to have in the collection. The MJF, a little loose. The CM Punk, a little too stiff. So kind of get a little of the best of both worlds, if this were a good thing to necessarily say. Of course, I'd rather have the CM Punk scenario than the MJF, where it's too loose. And I think the MJF legs look a little bit bow-legged in my opinion, but I don't know, that could just be me. Either way, what would I say about these two figures if I were to scale them on a rank of 1 out of 10 or whatever? I'd probably say this is a good solid 7.5 out of 10. Of course, you've got the wrong color on the shorts for CM Punk. It's not like there's alternative options of using either one of these attires non-bloodied for pick-fed purposes, so that also kind of disappoints me just a little bit. But that's alright. All around though, I can't say I'm complaining too much about this set. Got some really good accessories, got some banger figures that I'm probably going to put on display. And on top of that too, we've also got the greatness of having the dog collar accessory, which I can use for pretty interesting feuds in my opinion, you know, like say if Edge and Chris Jericho ever got into a heated enough rivalry, in my opinion, could always have them in a dog collar match. Not that I'd really want to do that, but I could see myself doing that at some point, perhaps. Or we could do like Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in a dog collar match, or just something. You know, I could see something coming down the line where I could use this chain effectively, not just in a good storyline reason, but just all around to be able to include it in the history of Damn Defiant Wrestling. Pick fed wise would be pretty neat to have at least one dog collar match. Either way, I don't know, I think I'm rambling on a little bit too much though. Of course, what would I rank this 1 out of 5 stars? I'd probably have to rank this a good solid 3.5 out of 5. You know, it's pretty damn good. Couple of things that were missing in my opinion that could have really like made this set shine. But either way, with that being said, you know, it's a really good set. If you guys have been waiting to get this, you know, kind of like me, and putting it off on hold, I think it's pretty worth the money, especially if you can get it on a discount when Ringside does a sale. So, yeah, with that being said, of course, if you would like to, feel free to like the video if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, that's alright. You're not going to hurt my feelings at the end of the day. But even if you did like the video, though, feel free to go and check out some of my other content. I've got more action figure reviews, plus I've got one guaranteed on the way right after this, more than likely. Plus, I may have a couple more on the way. I'm not gonna say anything too big there, but it's definitely a figure I'm excited to have nonetheless. Or, well, figures I'm excited to have nonetheless, because it is a couple of them. Just one kind of mixes in with the other in a sense, if you'll catch my drift. And I know my boy at WPW Pickfed, he'll probably catch my drift, as I was kind of talking to him about it already. So, yeah, you know, shout out to you, my dude. Hopefully WrestleMania 2's startup match is getting along fairly well. Really excited to see that triple threat ladder match. So, again, shout outs to you, my boy. And, yeah, on that note, I think Oh yeah, duh, I almost forgot to plug the Instagram. If you would want to, feel free to follow the Instagram and stuff like that. You can get updates on like when action figure reviews go up, and not just that, but you'll also get some behind the scenes for the pig fed, like just match content, or maybe even like some pictures or shots from like interviews. I don't know. You'll just have to go up on there and see, of course, under the same name as the YouTube channel. And speaking of that, before we go and we actually officially close this out, you know, if you could, feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe, and your subscription and your like definitely goes a long way. As of recording this, we're 3 subscribers away from 150. Been waiting to hit this milestone since we hit 100 subs, and we got there really quick. All I can say is like it happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. So thank you all for supporting the channel and everything I do here. So yeah, on that note, I think we can wrap this one up, get into the Stardust review, and I have absolutely no clue what I'll do with the rest of my night after that. Peace out, yo.